You've probably heard the joke. Woman spills hot coffee. Sues McDonald's. Wins millions. Frivolous lawsuit. Classic America. That's what most people think they know. Here's what actually happened. In February 1992, 79-year-old Stella Liebeck was sitting in the passenger seat of her grandson's car in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They had just gone through the McDonald's drive-thru. Her grandson pulled forward to let Stella add cream and sugar to her coffee. She placed the cup between her knees to steady it. It tipped. The lid came off. The entire cup of scalding coffee poured directly into her lap. Stella Liebeck suffered third-degree burns. Not first-degree, not second-degree, third-degree burns covering 6% of her body, including her thighs, buttocks, and groin. She required skin grafting. She was hospitalized for 8 days. She spent 2 years recovering. She was permanently disfigured. And here's the thing nobody tells you, McDonald's coffee at the time was served at between 180 and 190 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not just hot. That's hot enough to cause third-degree burns in 3 to 7 seconds. Why so hot? McDonald's had a policy. They believed coffee tasted better at that temperature. They also believed most customers would drink it during the commute, by which point it would have cooled slightly. They had received over 700 complaints about burn injuries from their coffee in the 10 years before Stella's accident. 700. There had been settlements. McDonald's knew their coffee was injuring people. Stella Liebeck didn't go straight to court. She asked McDonald's for $20,000, just enough to cover her medical bills. McDonald's offered her $800. She hired a lawyer. During the trial, McDonald's own quality assurance manager testified that the company was aware of the injury risk but had no intention of changing the serving temperature. A McDonald's executive testified they had done a cost-benefit analysis and determined the number of lawsuits was not sufficient to justify changing their procedures. In other words, they knew. They weighed the cost of burning customers against the cost of fixing the problem. And they decided burning customers was cheaper. The jury heard this. They were furious. They awarded Stella Liebeck $200,000 in compensatory damages, reduced to $160,000 because the jury found she was 20% responsible for the accident. They also awarded her $2.7 million in punitive damages, the equivalent of 2 days of McDonald's coffee sales. The judge later reduced the punitive damages to $480,000. Stella Liebeck and McDonald's ultimately settled out of court for a confidential amount. The story was then used by corporations and tort reform advocates as the poster child for frivolous lawsuits. A smear campaign. Late-night comedians made it a punchline. The narrative, "Stupid woman sues over spilled coffee," spread everywhere. But she had third-degree burns. She almost lost her ability to walk. McDonald's had 700 complaints and chose to do nothing. This case fundamentally changed how fast food companies handle hot beverages. Coffee temperatures across the industry dropped. Warning labels became standard. Stella Liebeck's case wasn't frivolous. It was the system working exactly the way it's supposed to. Was the jury wrong? Or was the media wrong? Let us know in the comments. And subscribe to Court Files. Real cases, real verdicts, no spin.